What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. After a rare day off for us, we're back. Papa Dude, you are back today as well. Are you locked and loaded and ready?
Let's go. Let's go for it. Let's get with it. I'm ready to go.
I know. I'm with it. I'm kind of. It was like yesterday was weird that we didn't do a show, but everybody had stuff going on. So we're back today, though. We did share our picks, whether it be on Twitter, Facebook. I think Magic posted on YouTube as well. So if you did follow the picks, they did well. They did. They went 3-1 on the day, so that was good. I was going to just start with this, a little bit of a weekend recap, so to speak, since we really haven't been able to talk about a few things. Let's talk about two Phils first. Ohio Derby. I don't think everybody was just like crazy excited for it, but it was a good matchup, we thought, between two Phils and Bishop's Bay. It turned into a laugher. That was a very impressive performance by two Phils.
It sure was. Now everybody says he's the best 3-year-old. You know, a little bit of overreaction there probably. Although I sent a text to you and said, did we just see the best 3-year-old of the crop? Mm-hmm. Because let's face it, the crop's not very good. So it hasn't proven to be yet. And this horse has been as consistent as anybody.
Yeah.
Ran well in the Kentucky Derby. And yesterday showed that brilliant burst of speed that we like to see, and Blue Bishop's Bay, as you said, looked like he was tied to a pole. And everybody's on two Phils now. I think we all would love to see this horse with a lesser known trainer, and a lesser known jockey come to the front. He's going to have his chance. I thought he was great yesterday. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I reluctantly put him on top because I was just kind of worried. It's like, okay, how will he come out of that Derby race? Was that Derby race a little bit of a fluke? And my goodness, that's now 3 races in a row where he's dominated. The only reason I thought it might be a little bit of a fluke, because the first race where he really put it all together and became better than just an okay horse was that race at Turfway over the synthetic. And then he went to the Derby, and I thought, well, I still don't know if he's quite for real. There's no debate about that now.
No.
He was fantastic. I mean, that was an impressive performance. Bishop's Bay, if you remember when he faced Arcangelo in the Peter Pan, that was nip and tuck the whole way. Of course, Arcangelo goes on to win the Belmont Stakes. This was never nip and tuck. This was never even in doubt. No. And like you said, he's got that running style that's tough to beat when they fire, where they can stock the pace and sit right there and then just zoom by you. So
he's got that burst, that burst of speed that you look for in a really good horse. And Bishop's Bay was running well and just smoked him. I feel extremely sorry for Jared Loveberry, the regular rider, who I believe is injured and couldn't ride. Golly, I feel really sorry for him that he couldn't do that. This is a guy that, one of those hard-knocking jockeys who finally has a great horse to ride, and then boom, he gets hurt and can't ride in the biggest race. Well, it's not the biggest. Derby was bigger, but still, this would have just padded his resume. I hope he gets back on the horse for the next one. You never know on those things.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how the injury progress goes for Loveberry, broken arm. So we'll see. Yeah. That's not going to be easy to come back from being a jockey. That's for sure.
So where do you think he'll go next? You think they'll go to Saratoga?
I would say you could go to the Haskell with him. You could go to the Jim Dandy with him. And those are the next two options. And then everything kind of leads towards the Travers for that second race after that. So, the long-term goal, obviously the Travers, I would say Haskell or Jim Dandy is where he'll go next. So we'll see what happens here. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes out, because he looks serious. I know I would pick him again based off that performance, no matter kind of where he goes. So it'll be interesting to see who he goes up against. That's these summer races are going to be really, really good. So
they're going to be. It is going to have a lot of interest to see which horse steps up and becomes the star of this crop. And I haven't had a chance yet, but I am going to go back and watch his run in the Derby to see if he was. We kind of overlooked him because we were watching the others, the favorites, and at least me, I haven't looked hard to see how well he actually ran in the Derby, but to finish second, pretty impressive.
A lot of people are making the case he was the best horse in the Derby. He didn't have he didn't have any trouble, but he also was chasing that hot pace and was the only one that really stuck around
Yeah.
late. So, I mean, a lot of
And
people
he's done that in a lot of races.
Yesterday, he was the best horse out of the Kentucky Derby. So, he confirmed it out of that. That was impressive yesterday.
I would have had trouble betting him at that 3 to 5 price.
Well, I mean, that is definitely true. And boy, he looked like 1 to 9. But yeah, before they come out of the gate, 3 to 5 is always tough.
Before he ran, his credentials weren't a 3 to 5 horse. You know what I mean? He hadn't won enough to be 3 to 5. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't like to bet a horse at 3 to 5.
Yeah.
In a race like that hasn't won a whole lot. But boy, he proved it yesterday. He was good.
Yeah, for sure. It was very, very, very impressive. Before we move on, did you see the Angels scored 25 runs last night?
Yes, I did. The funny thing was, I think the over-under was 12.5 or 12 in that game. I almost took that. And they scored 25 runs. Oh, that's awful. Did they get a bunch of them? I read somewhere they got a bunch in one inning. Did they?
13 runs in the third, and then they got 8 runs in the fourth.
Oh God.
Yeah,
that's bad. Before we close out, though, we got to talk about your horse.
Oh yeah, definitely. Before we move
on,
we'll
talk about your horse.
Yeah, I haven't been on the air since he won. Yeah, so if you missed it Friday night, Husker Butch broke his maiden at Prairie Meadows. It was a really good race. Boy, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch the 10th race from Prairie Meadows. It was fantastic. It was a 3-way, not photo. I mean, it was clear who won, but 3 horses kind of going to the wire there together. Husker Butch kind of sat second, third the whole race, was able to reel in the leader late, and then was able to hold off the 5-horse late as well to win by a neck. So that was very, very good. Really have to give Kelly Von Hemel a ton of credit. Our trainer, just a fantastic job spotting the horse, getting him ready for that. That was he had him ready to go last time. He ran well and just couldn't quite catch that leader. This time he ran even better. I know, changing leads had kind of been a problem for him. And if you watch the race back again, go back and watch it. Last 100 yards, he changes the leads. That's why he won the race. They got him to change leads late, and he got that extra burst. And really, I think Elvin Gonzalez deserves a shit ton of credit. This is a really good young jockey. He gave Husker Butch an absolutely perfect ride 2 races back. So good that we just didn't have anything to complain about. It's just like, we got outrun. He did the same thing here. He gave him a perfect ride. So Gonzalez, great job. So good job by Kelly and a great job by Elvin. I thought both of them deserve all the credit here. Of course, the horse as well.
Well, yeah, and I think you got to be impressed with that burst of speed he had, and the stamina and courage to hold off that horse that I think it was Randy Morse's horse, the 5, I believe.
Yep.
Was coming on. I thought he was going to catch him. I really did, because how many times have you seen that horse on the outside, get that burst and beat the horse that's inside of him? You see it a lot, but he held him off, and that showed a lot of courage. I would think an allowance would be the next step.
Yep. Yeah, we'll go to allowance next, try that first level allowance and see if he can get the job done. He's got 2 things that you love about a horse. If you're going to own one, he really tries. If you watch his race where he got second, 2 back, man, he was really trying to get that horse. He just wasn't good enough. And then he has early speed, and we talk about that a lot when handicapping. The same thing with your ownership groups, or group or not group, whatever. But Husker Butch can sit second. He can sit third. He doesn't have to come from way out of it. And I was talking to Kelly after his race 2 back. He's like, well, that's the great thing, especially up here at Prairie Meadows. The fields are pretty questionable. So if you can get out there and you try, if you get out second and third, say early, and then you try down the lane, you're going to hit the board a lot, right?
Yes.
Because you're in position and then you're trying to get to that wire. So, got second, like I said last time. This time the try factor really came in. He saw the 5 late and he said, no, you're not going to pass me. So it was exciting. We'll see where we go next. I think entry level allowance next, and then we'll go from there. We'll see how
If he wins
it's
that one,
all
then
a
you can,
test, right?
yeah,
The
if
next
you can
step.
win that one, if you win that one, then you get into a Iowa bred stakes race.
Well, he's not an Iowa bred,
Oh,
unfortunately.
I thought he was.
No, he's Ontario bred.
Oh, that's right. Well, you get into a lesser stakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And Michael said,
Right.
Husker Butch could win a stake. The horse, for who he is and where he's running, I don't think he could win a stake, honestly, but I think you could run him in one and he wouldn't be embarrassed because he does have early speed and he
Yeah.
does try. And those are two good qualities. He's not overly talented, but again, he's only raced 5 times. So he's getting better with each race.
He is.
So
He is.
we'll see. We're happy to have him. And that was, he's the richest racehorse I've ever owned. So I've only owned 4. And that purse was good enough to push him over the other 3 that I've had. So if he wins a stake, we might put a statue of him outside the door of the house here.
Oh, yeah, that's what we need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
yeah, well, it's funny. We've always said Queen's Plate because he's an Ontario bred. So, but we're not going there.
No, I don't think Kelly will go up there.
All right, let's move on here. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Sure.
A good time on Friday night. All right, let's move on. We'll do 3 baseball games, the Belmont race of the day, and then we'll do the best bets. Mariners, Orioles is where we'll start off. Poppy Dude, the Mariners are minus 125 in this game. Total 8.5. The lines have been really close all 3 games here. Series is split 1-1. Who are you going with in the rubber match today?
Well, this is when I think you take the dog, which is the Orioles. The pitching matchup is about even. You can argue either way which pitcher is better. I think Baltimore's the better team, and the game's in Baltimore. So those things tend to swing me towards the Orioles, plus they're the underdogs. So I'm going to take the Orioles in this one to win the rubber game of the series. I just think they're better in Seattle. And I look at 3 things: home team, who's playing well, actually 4 teams, who's the better team, pitching matchup. Baltimore goes with 3 of those 4. I'm taking the dog in this one.
Yep, I'm with you. I don't really know why they're underdogs. I think this is really more of just a toss-up game more than anything else. I took the Orioles as well. I played them in the first game of the series. They got embarrassed. I played them yesterday. They blew a game in the night, or they blew the lead in the 9th inning. I was so angry, but they did win. You can attest to that. You're Marlin.
Yes. Oh, God, I don't want to talk about it.
Who blew a game in the night, but they came back to win that game. That was a really good game, actually. If you didn't have a bet, you were just watching. That was a really good.
It's a good. The Orioles are good. It's a good ball team.
Yes, I agree.
They're only 3.5 or 4.5 now behind Tampa Bay, who's struggling a little bit. I'd be a little worried if I was a Tampa Bay fan right now. But Baltimore, it's got one of the best records in baseball and would be in first place in a lot of divisions if they weren't in there with Tampa. So they're a good team.
Yep, I agree. All right, we're both going Baltimore there. Let's go on to this one. I put this one on there because I think the line is really interesting. The Braves are minus 220 now. This thing's been going up. They were minus 170, then 190. Now it's up to 220. The Braves snapped the Reds' 12-game winning streak yesterday in a very good game. Still, it was a 7-6 game. It was a battle. Total here 11.5. Now, why the Braves are minus 220? The Reds had Lively on the mound, the Reds had scheduled to have Lively on the mound. He is injured. So now we've got a rough pitching matchup. Charlie Morton for the Braves. Is the price big enough to still take a stab at the Reds, or are the Braves the play here?
Well, you're more of a gambler than I am. The Braves have Charlie Morton, and he's finally up against somebody that's not the other team's ace. He seems to always draw the other team's best pitcher. And Morton is pretty consistent. I don't think the Reds, they're going to have to score a lot of runs, I think, today, which they usually do anyway. No, I'm not betting it because it's minus 220. I just think the Braves are going to win. But I don't like to do the 1.5s and all that thing. That total, it's 11.5. I could see an 8-7, 8-6 game. I wouldn't bet under the total.
I think if you're going to bet, I think if you're going to bet the total, you're going to bet the over. Yeah. I think this thing goes over.
Are you going to take a shot on the Reds? Are you going to take a shot on them?
I'm not going to take a shot on him, but I
Yeah.
feel like I should, but I'm not going to do it.
Well,
I
it's the odds aren't good today. I mean, Morton is steady. You got to think he's going to give you 5 or 6 innings.
yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen with the Reds pitcher.
Yeah, Levi Stout is pitching for the Reds. I failed to mention his name. He has not pitched since May 13th. They did beat the Marlins the day he pitched. He went 3 innings. He gave up a run. He's only been in 2 games. He did pitch on 4/19, so that's April 19th against the Rays. He gave up 7 runs in 4 innings. He's too big of a mystery for me. I just can't do it. The Reds are going to have to score, 7, 8 runs, I think, to win this game. So, but listen, the Reds are 1-1 in this series, and they've got absolutely 0 starting pitching the whole time.
That's right. They've had their worst pitchers.
Oh, I know. They won 11-10 in game 1 of this series, and then they lost, like I said yesterday, 7-6. I think it'll be a similar game. Eileen Braves. I'm going to tell you something. This Braves lineup, my goodness, if you have bad pitching, they're going to kill you.
They'll kill you.
That first game, they pitched Weaver. The Braves made him look ridiculous.
They're a good team.
They're really good. This Braves team is exceptionally good.
The thing that would be bothering me about the Reds is their pitching. Mm-hmm. They've got to get another pitcher. They've got to. Yeah. They just can't. They may win the division, but they're not going to go any farther with this pitching staff. And here's the other thing. They got a lot of young hitters. And the longer the season goes on, other teams are going to figure out their weaknesses. Right now, their superstar, they haven't figured that out yet. They haven't seen enough of him yet. And these scouts are scouting them.
Yeah.
They're going to find some holes in these young guys. So they got to get some pitching because they can't keep scoring these kind of runs all every game. They just can't.
Yeah, you're talking about Ellie De La Cruz, who had the first cycle since 1989 for a Cincinnati Red.
That's unreal.
Incredible.
Oh, he's exciting. He's exciting.
He's the most exciting player I've watched in a long time. Yeah. But you're right. They're young. A lot of them will probably have a little bit of a dip. They do have Joey Votto back. That will help.
Yeah.
He's playing out of his mind since he's come back. I think he's rejuvenated by what's happening. So
if they can add a good, solid starting pitcher, now, I don't know what they're going to have to give up to get one. And they may decide, no, we're not going to do that. They may, because they probably are going to have to give some prospects, maybe even a guy who's playing right now in the starting lineup to get this pitcher. And they may decide, hey, let's hang in there. We can win this division with what we've got. Mm-hmm. We're going to get better and better in the years to come. So why do we want to buy a pitcher for just this year? But it'll just depend on what their thinking is and what they have to give up to get a guy. Because there's going to be some dangled out there, good, solid pitchers that teams who are out of the race want to get rid of and get some prospects.
Yep, they need a solid 5-6 inning guy.
They do.
They don't need a superstar. Well, everybody needs a superstar, but they're not out there really. But that guy that can go out and give you 5 or 6, that's what they.
But I'm looking at the Mets, who I don't think have a chance to get back in it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the contract situations are with Verlander and Scherzer, and I don't know whether they've got anything left. I think Scherzer does. He pitched really well. He's been pitching better. What if they dangled him out there?
Yeah, right.
That's the type of pitcher we're talking about. I don't know what his contracts are and what limitations there are, whether he has a no trade clause. He probably does. But wouldn't you want to go to a contender down the stretch?
Yep. Well, we've already got the guy. It's J.P. Sears. He's coming. We've decided it. Oakland is trading J.P. Sears to the Reds. That is a done deal. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the last one. Astros and the Dodgers here. This is the ESPN game tonight, 6:00 Central Time. This has been a good series, but the Dodgers have got the best of them a couple times. Controversial call last night gives the Dodgers the win. Gosselin on the mound against Brown, -125 here, total sitting at 8. What do you think about the late game tonight?
Well, I tell you what, I'm about to give up on Houston. I really am. I don't know they're going to do it. I've been waiting, and they just can't get going, and they're losing ground, every day. They're only 5 games over 500. I like the pitching matchup for the Dodgers tonight. I think they sweep them. So did Houston win the first game they did, didn't they?
Listen. I think. Well, first of all, I think the Dodgers won both of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
The
just
Dodgers won. The Dodgers won 3-2 and then 8-7
That's
in
right.
these two games.
So
So
they've been close. Those are games Houston's won in the past. They're just not playing very well. So I'm going to go the Dodgers tonight.
yeah, I lean I didn't make a play on this one, but I do lean the Dodgers in this game. I do think they're just the better team right now. Houston's not playing very well. Pretty big disappointment as of
Mhm.
right now, based on their expectations. So
Yeah.
and
Well, defending
also, I'll
champ.
throw in Somich isn't here, but this is his best bet, kind of leaning towards that Dodgers. He's won Dodgers first 5 minus a half run plus 127. So he's trying to create some value there with the Dodgers in the first 5. He wants those Gonsolin innings. So Dodgers first 5 plus 127 for Somich's best bet. I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one. All right. Let's go.
I wouldn't bet the Dodgers at 125. I'm just picking them to win the game. I wouldn't bet it because that's not enough. You won't make enough money on a game. They could lose very easily.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just it. And that's the problem. That's why I stayed away from it. I don't hate the first 5 there from Somich, but that's kind of more his thing than mine.
Yeah.
I stayed away from it because of the price. I didn't really want to lay 125. But the flip side of it is it wasn't enough to take the Astros. If the Astros are plus 130, sure, I'll take a swing at it, but not at like plus 100, which is probably what they are right around there. So,
yeah.
Let's go to Belmont. Race 8 today at Belmont, going to be the race of the day. It's a New York bred stakes, the Dancing Renee Stakes, going 6 furlongs, $125,000 purse. It's a field of 7, so a little bit shorter field than what we normally do on the show. But I don't know about you. I kind of felt like almost any of these could win. This is a pretty wide open race here. It's a big key, second to last race, big key here in the pick 5. Where did you go race 8 at Belmont?
I think it's a really good race. I do. I had about 4 of them that I had written down, but the more I look, the number 2 has run in the best races of the bunch for the most part. So you got to look at him or her. It's females, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isn't it females?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So you got to look at her because she's running the best stuff. She's won a lesser stakes race like this one is. Finished third and fourth in grade 3s. So she's 2-1. But I'm going to try to beat her. I really love the 5, Granny's Connection. 4 straight wins. All maidens or allowances. I think they're all allowances. And she has blown them away. Haven't even been close. 1 by 9, 1 by 6, 1 by 7. That's pretty impressive. I don't care what the competition is. She's blowing them away. So that sticks out to me. So that's who I'm going with, the 5, Granny's Connection. I also like the 4, Sterling Silver as well. So I'm going to go 5-4-2.
I think 5 is going to be awfully tough. I think that's a horse you better use. I really agree with that one. I agree with your point on the 2. I feel like the class has been a little bit higher. I'm going to go with the horse cutting back. I'm going to go number 4, Sterling Silver on top here. This horse tried to stretch out last time out, ran pretty well, but was beaten 2 1/4, going a mile 16th. I don't think she wanted to go that far. Now we're cutting back to 6 furlongs, and I think that's where we'll see this horse at her absolute best. You go back to the last time she ran at 6 furlongs, it was a grade 2 race, and she lost by a neck in the prior race at Saratoga. Went to the Gallant Bloom, and got 3rd, didn't run very well at all. Then kind of tried way tough company. You look at the race 2 back, the allowance at Aqueduct was going 7 furlongs. This horse won. So listen, the horses are the horse going 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, really tough. I think Sterling Silver is going to be a handful in here. I think she's the one coming late, trying to catch that 2 and that 5. So it'll just be, can she get there or not? I think she's going to. I like to cut back in distance. So I'll give the 4, Sterling Silver, the nod on top for me. Any final comments on this race, or are you good?
No, I think it's going to be a good one. The 7 is kind of interesting too. Can't Hurry Love, but I just don't think the horse has been in enough quality races. to beat this field. I think this will be a good one to watch.
Certainly wouldn't be surprised if the 7-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to the best bets. We'll let you go first here. You've got a parlay, so go ahead and take it away.
Okay, I looked at three things in this one. First of all, both my teams, the Marlins and the Phillies, have the edge in pitching, the starting pitching. So I like that. They're better than, or they're both playing very, very well right now. Although the Phillies struggled a little bit yesterday with the Mets, and they're at home, and we're getting plus 144. So I really like everything. That's the trifecta for me. I think it's worth betting for 144, and I really think they're going to win. I really like Wheeler for the Phillies today, and Miami's just tough to beat at home. They really are, and they're playing really well. Pittsburgh made a run at them yesterday. God, I was mad. They were within 1 out. I had them in a parlay that was going to pay $217. They blew it. All they needed was 1 out. There was nobody on base. The guy walks a guy. Every time you walk somebody, it's going to kill you. They came back, tied it up. Then the Pirates took the lead in the 10th, I believe.
Yep.
Miami got a run, tied it up, and beat them in the 11th. So I'm going to go stick it out with the Marlins again today and the Phillies for plus 144.
Yeah, the Marlins have been heart stoppers for sure. And that the game Friday night, they blew and they didn't come back. They lost. At least they won for you last night or yesterday afternoon. I guess that was. So we'll see.
I was mad.
The Marlins with Perez on the mound, if he shows up with his best game, they are not going to need but a couple runs.
I don't think so either.
But the Marlins offense is very hit and miss. So we'll see. That's kind of their weakness right now. But when they're on, they do get a lot of runs. But boy, they are streaky. So we'll see what happens with them. All right. I like it, by the way. I've got both those teams involved in parlays as well. All right. Let's go to mine. I'm going to go the Rangers plus 100 here against the Yankees. This is going to be an interesting game because the Rangers got shut out. They lost 1-0. I can't believe they got shut out. They're facing a better pitcher today with Cole on the mound, but Eovaldi's on the mound for the Rangers. We talk about trying not to be too reactionary in baseball, and that's what I'm doing here. I still think the Rangers are the better team. I think pitching matchups even. It's like you said, you got an even pitching matchup. You got plus money on a team that you think's better. Give me the Rangers plus 100. I like them a lot today. Another thing, you want to talk about being reactionary in baseball. 2 nights ago, the Rockies beat the Angels, and Somich cashes his best bet, and then the next night they lose 25-1.
That's right.
So what happens tonight? I wouldn't be shocked if the Rockies win today.
No, I wouldn't either. You see that a lot.
Yeah,
you really do. Where a team scores 25 one day. I've seen this millions of times. Come back and they'll score 2 today. I've seen it, and you got to understand in baseball, you play 162 games. You could be 25-1. You don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You go home. You don't worry about that. It's harder to come back when you lose, like the Pirates did yesterday in extra innings in a game you could have won. Then you could be 25-1. You just laugh that off. Come back and get after them tomorrow. So I'm with you. I almost took Colorado today, to be honest. But they're so bad, I couldn't do it.
Their biggest problem, and shockingly, they gave up 25 runs yesterday. But they have Anderson. He's a pretty good starting pitcher. The rest of these guys, they just can't get anybody out. And Gomber's on the mound. And
Gomber's pitching. That's the deal.
He's not good at all. But Anderson's pitching for the Angels. He's not great either.
He's better than Gomber.
I saw Michael say this is a guaranteed under today, and I tend to agree. I think it'll go under. The total's 13. So that tells you about the pitching match. It is rough out there.
Yeah. I was sweating. By the way, I was sweating out that the other part of my parlay yesterday was the Cardinals Cubs under 13.5. And I sweated that out all day long. I think it ended up 10. Yep. But, the Cubs had 7 after 4 innings, I think. And today the under was way high too, but I have it 6-4 the last time I saw the score, or it was way up there. I mean, it was like 12.5, I think today. 6-4 was the last score I saw.
It's 7-4 now.
Okay.
They're in the bottom of the seventh. So
glad I didn't take it.
The Cubs hopped up to a 4-0 lead. The Cardinals now lead 7-4. Stroman, they were knocking the hell out of him, and it looked like he was injured. So they had to take him out. I have no update on that or anything like that. But yeah, the Cardinals have stormed back here. They have a 7-4 lead. 7-4 bottom 7. So we'll see if it goes over or under there. It was another high total. Like
Are they just playing 2 games there? Do they come home after this one?
They come home. They're coming home after.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the deal. We'll get off here, but sending the Cardinals and Cubs over there when those are marquee games for those teams when they're playing at home, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, they each lose a home game that they would.
Yeah, and the fans look forward to watching the Cubs Cardinals games.
Yeah,
I've been to those. Those are fun.
You definitely could have. Yeah, I mean, you definitely could have sent a non-rival game over.
Yes, I really was shocked when I saw. I guess that you would think the teams would have to agree, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
To go, maybe they don't. Maybe it's a round robin type thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was the Cardinals and Cubs, I'd have said, "Oh, we'll go over there." But don't send us playing each other. If I was a season ticket holder, I'd be mad. I lost a game there. Of the Cardinals Cubs. Yeah. Anyway.
I agree. I totally agree. I think it's. I don't know. I just feel like if you send 2 teams over there, the people over there really aren't going to care that it's rivalry games. Like this is Major League Baseball's here. It's awesome, Yeah. So yeah, I get it. I
don't know. Anyway, that's that.
Yeah. All right. We'll do the best bets here and get out of here. Like I said, really good day. 3-1 for us yesterday. Magic was the only one that lost, but hard to get on Magic. He's been hot. He just kind of. He had Rangers first 5. Say they were down 1-0 after 5. They were down 1-0 after the whole game. So just one of those things. They didn't get any hits. Somich is going Dodgers first 5 minus a half run plus 127. I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers plus 100. You're going Marlins Phillies. That's a parlay I'm going to put in right after we get off the show. Plus 144. I do like that one a lot. Record for the week, 5-5, up $208 for the year. Now we were up $1 early in the week. We're now up $409. So be guaranteed to be ahead going into next week. That's good as well. All right, guys, I'm getting off of here right now. So's Papa Dude. It's nice to have Papa Dude back for a day. We'll be back for the show on Wednesday, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much for everybody who said congrats and reach out to me as well. It really means a lot. I'm serious. I appreciate that. And we'll see you next time.